EI1ISS, this is OR4ISS, over. EI1ISS, OR4ISS, over. EI1ISS, this is OR4ISS, you are very soft, over. I am ready for questions, over. And I absolutely did enjoy the launch into space. It was a very exciting and thrilling ride. Over. You know, Tristan, that's a very good question. We're just now getting into the experiments. We've got some interesting things going on with fiber optics, and we've got some interesting things going on with looking at vibrations in drops of fluid. Over. Sean, my favorite area in the ISS absolutely has to be the cupola, where I can look out and see the Earth. Over. Activities in my spare time. You know, I don't actually have a lot of spare time. I would say mostly just before I go to bed, I call my husband and talk to him for a few minutes. Over. The most interesting thing I see from the space station is how thin our atmosphere is. Over. Michelle, evidence is very easy to see when we look down on all the glaciers that are disappearing. Over. John, it takes a lot of years to become an astronaut. It takes a minimum of 2 years when you're first selected before you're eligible for space flight. And then for my first space flight, it was 3 more years of training. Over. Patrick, we get our energy from the sun. We've got huge solar arrays. Over. Sonia, it's an unfortunate situation. You just have an itchy nose. There's not a darn thing you can do about it. Over. When I return home, I will miss being able to float around everywhere I go. Over. I would say the most difficult challenge was 2 things. 1, learning the Russian language, and 2, doing the training for spacewalks. Over. Tristan, the Earth is absolutely overwhelming when you see it from the first time from space, especially the sunrises and sunsets. Over. Sean, there's been a lot of useful things coming from space experiments, even going back to the Apollo days, starting with miniaturizing batteries. And think what we've done with small batteries. Everything from cordless drills to the batteries in your cell phones. Over. Shauna, we are not weak when we return from microgravity because we exercise every day. And in fact, on my last flight, I was stronger when I came back than before I left. Over. If there were a human mission to Mars, I would absolutely consider going. Over. Michelle, I think maybe one day, but certainly not with current technology. The distances are too far to get anywhere in a lifetime. Over. John, we exercise every day. We've got 3 exercise devices up here, a treadmill that we can run on an exercise bike, and then a machine that lets us do the equivalent of lifting weights. Over. Patrick, some people say that happens. I don't think it happens to me, and usually it happens to people they believe because of the fluid shifts, fluid going up into your head and giving you a stuffy nose. Over. Yes, while we're up here, we are able to communicate with family. We have email, we can make phone calls if the satellite hookups are right, and then about once a week we get a video conference with our family. Over. I was 4 years old when I decided I wanted to be an astronaut. That's when I saw people land on the moon the first time. Over. Decided I wanted to be an astronaut when I was 4 years old. That is when I saw humans land on the moon. Over. You were coming in very broken, but I can hear the applause. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it very much. Over.